So today we're working on a rigid pipe threader. This thing is actually not the one we're going to be working on, but I've come out to look at it because we had a situation where we were using it, or the guys were using it, and the cord somehow got caught in the piece of pipe that they were actually threading, or caught on the spool as it was going around. So this thing spins as you cut threads onto the pipe, and when the cord got caught, it yanked it out of where it goes into the switch box. So if you look on the outside of it here, you can see we've got a forward and a reverse spot. So when we push it down, it spins the motor forward, and when we go in that way, then it's reverse. Middle is off. So if you look up underneath here, you can see where the power comes in, goes across into this box, and then back up to the motor, which looks pretty similar to what we're dealing with on the other one. This switch assembly in here, I think, is what they call an H-bridge, where it's able to reverse the polarity on the motor in order to change directions. But I'm a little bit confused as to how the wiring goes, so we're gonna just maybe look in here so we can have a better idea of what we're supposed to do. So that is interesting with this one. The motor is just got a plug with 4 wires. And then looks like we'll have to remove the 2 screws on the face here. That appears to be the only mounting spot for this whole box. This is sweet. So I just pulled this out, and you can see it actually has a wiring diagram for us, which is very handy. So we've got power, hot goes to the middle of the switch, neutral goes directly to the plug, or in our other case, it'll be directly to the motor. The green, of course, is ground. So then it is switching the yellow and the blue. It's still a little confusing, but so it doesn't look like anything actually gets hooked onto these bottom 2 terminals where it says forward, and instead we just got power coming in here, and then it decides which way it's going to go to those 2 wires that actually go to the motor, or 3. So I think based off of that, we can go and actually hook up the wiring for that other one, how it's supposed to be. So here's the wiring situation I was greeted with. So, yeah, it looks...
Come on. It's saving space in the burn pit area. Wise.
So I think this one right here must go to the neutral, because I can tell a wire nut was on there at one time. But the color coding of the wires is pretty much shot. We'll check. Well, let's see. One of these must also be a ground, perhaps. Not entirely sure. I'll puzzle through it here and see what I come up with. So based off of that wiring diagram, I think I got it put together correctly. You can see this one's marked with a red line, so I assume one of these was originally blue and one was originally yellow, but they're kind of all the same color. And then this is the one that had wire nut marks, so I put it to neutral. So we'll hook up power to it and see if anything spins or if it all just stays put. So I'm going to try to look at these and see which color is which color. It's really hard to tell though, but I think this one's red, I think this one's yellow, I think this one's white, and I think this one's black, or would be blue, I guess. Okay, so I hooked them up wrong the first time, and in one direction the motor just hums and doesn't do anything, but I got it rehooked up now, and I think it's correct. So once it slows down, we'll check it the other direction. Safety guy over there. So yeah, we should be able to put this back together then, and I think we're going to be good. So I don't know why, but for some reason this wire that used to be blue is being used as the neutral to the motor, and maybe the colors weren't standard for how they were doing these, because this is a much older rigid one, clearly a different setup. This will still get mounted up in here similar to how the other one was, but not the same as the other one. So there it is, all put back together, and it's good to go. You just got to make sure that the cord doesn't get caught in there. Pretty impressive old stuff. Volts 110 to 115. The Lamb Electric Company. It's a big old motor. Then it just has kind of like a gear reduction here to slow it down and give it some power.